Hey, welcome back to class. Let's go ahead, bow in, chair up, bow, kunye. And sparring stance, let's start bouncing and getting warmed up a little bit. Just watch bouncing, hands are up, nice and relaxed. You can kind of shift your weight back and forth if you'd like. A little bit of hops forward and backwards. I want you to just kind of mix it up and just kind of stay moving. I will tell you when to switch, but other than that, I want you to play around with the footwork. If you'd like to just kind of move around, right? And then when you hear switch, just switch. Ready, switch. Moving, adjusting, maybe dropping my weight some, fakes forward, switch. Okay, I want you just kind of activating all of those muscles down in the legs, moving it around. Switch. Switch. Just keep moving. And drop the weight a few times. Switch. Upper body move some. Okay. Get a little bit of head movement in there. Switch. 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 Keep bouncing, keep moving. Switch. 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 Move around. Switch. 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 Both legs move at the same time. Switch. Not one and then the other. Switch. 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 And you can make little movements forward and backward. Switch. Switch. And take a breath. Let's go ahead and drop down here. I want you to point that knee as wide as you can. Use your other hand as a wedge. Keep those knees apart. You should be feeling this in your adductors and a little bit in your hamstrings. And switch. Same thing. Squatting hamstring stretch. Get the hamstrings. Get the adductors on the inside. A little bit of both. If you want to get more hamstrings, lean in more towards the front foot. If you want to get more adductors, keep your weight more towards the back and open up that back knee more. So you can lean sideways here as well. You can try to prevent that knee from collapsing in. Keep it open. All right, let's do a few weight shifters. You can put your hands down if you'd like. Just go from one side to the other. As you're doing this, again, try to keep that knee pointed outwards. As you shift, use that elbow on the inside to prevent the knee from collapsing in. Let's go ahead and flip over. Have your knee of the back foot on the ground. Gonna go hip into hamstrings. Forward, push forward, stretch that hip, the back leg, sink back, lean forward, stretch the hamstrings of the front leg. Hips forward, stretch the hip flexors, and back, stretch the hamstrings. Forward, and backward. Forward and back. Now switch sides. Stretch the hip flexor right here. Sink back, stretch the hamstrings. Forward and backward. Forward forward, and backwards. Come up, modified hip twists. Hip openers. And let's do closers. Take a breath in, and out. The next thing we're gonna do is going to be our 8 angles of movement. So I want you to picture a compass, right? It's got north, south, east, west, and then we've also got northeast, southeast, right? Going all the way around, right? We've got our 8 points of the compass. That's where our 8 angles are gonna be coming from. So when we're doing this, we're gonna do it with what's called a step and slide footwork. So step and slide footwork, I'm here, and this one's mostly gonna be kind of a fighting stance. So my fighting stance, I'm going to step with whichever leg is closest to the direction that I'm moving, and then slide. So that would be a forward movement there. If I'm doing a backwards movement, back foot, and then front foot, right? I want you to imagine you have these rubber bands, like a big rubber band around your knees. So once you step out, that rubber band is stretched and it pulls the back leg in. Or when I step back, that rubber band again gets stretched and it pulls my front leg in. And that's how the movement's gonna work. So that's our step and slide. We're going on 8 angles. Now, there are gonna be 2 angles where we kind of change things up just a little bit. And if we're with our left leg in the lead, it'll be our forward to the right and our backwards to the left. Okay, so it's forward towards the open side and backwards towards the closed side. That's gonna be what messes most people up. And the reason why is because with all the other ones, if I'm going left, I step with my left foot first. If I'm going right, I step with my right foot first. But now forward right, instead of stepping with the front foot first, we're gonna step with the right foot, and backward left, instead of stepping with the back leg first. If we did that, it'll end up crossing us over, right? And if we get hit while we're crossing our legs like that, we're gonna fall. So we're gonna step back with the front leg first. And again, that's gonna be on the open to the front side, and then the closed to the back side. If I switch my feet, same thing, it'll be open forward and backward to that closed side. So just be aware of that. So we're gonna start off with our left foot in front. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn my back to you. And I want you to do this along with me. So we're gonna be in a fighting stance here, and we're going to step forward, so left foot, right foot. Step backwards, right, left. Now let's step left, left foot, right foot, and let's step right, right foot, left foot. Now we're gonna go forward to the left, left, right, backward to the right, right, left. Now this is the 2 tricky ones. So we're gonna go forward, right, right foot steps first, then left foot, and back to the left, left foot steps, and then the right foot. So let's do that again. Forward, backward, left, right, forward left, backward right, forward right, right foot, backward left, left, right. One more time, facing this direction. Forward, left foot, right foot, backward, right, left, 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 right, 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 left, forward left, left, right, backward right, right, left, forward right, right, left, backward left, left, right. All right, so let's practice that a few more times. Moving around, forward, backward, left, right, forward left, backward right, forward right, backward left. Okay, again, forward, backward, right, left, forward right, right left, backward left, left right, forward left, left right, backward right, right left. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, let's go clockwise around it first. So we're gonna go forward to the 12 o'clock, and then We'll come back to our spot. Each one of these is gonna be a reset. So now we're gonna step 8 times going all the way around. So it's gonna go forward and back. Forward, right, and back. Right, and back. Backward, right, and back. Backward, forward, back, left. Reset, to the left, reset, forward, left, reset. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that 3 times, going clockwise all the way around. Ready? Begin. Forward, forward, right, and then just go right back to your spot. To the right, back right, backward, backward left, to the left, forward left, and second one, forward, forward right, right, backward right, backward, back left, to the left, forward left. And one more time all the way around, forward, forward right, to the right, backward right, backward, left, or back left, left, forward left. Okay, now let's go ahead and switch feet. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn my back to you again. Practice it with me on this side. So we're gonna go first forward, and then we're gonna go backward. Now let's go left, so left foot, right, right foot. And now let's go forward to the right, right, left, backward to the left, left, right. Now the tricky ones, so we're gonna go forward to the left, left foot, right foot goes in front, and backward to the right, right foot, left foot steps back. All right, again, forward, backward, left, right, forward right, right left, backward left, left right, forward left, left foot, backward right, right foot, left foot. All right, I'm gonna turn around, and now let's go counterclockwise with this. So we've got our right foot in front. The first one is gonna go to the front and back. So we're gonna do this 3 times. So go ahead and do this along with me. Now we're gonna go forward to the left, left foot, right foot, and back. Now to the left, left foot, right foot, back to the back left, left right, and back, backwards, left right, and back, back to the right, right left, and back to the right, right left, and back, forward right, right left, and back. So that's 1. Let's do 2 more. Ready? Forward, reset. Forward left, reset. To the left, back, backward left, backward, backward right, to the right, forward right, to the front. 1 more. Forward left, to the left, backward left, backward. Oop, I switched my feet there. Backward right, to the right, forward right. Good. All right, so that was our 8 angles of movement. Again, going with our step and slide. The only ones that aren't really step and slide are the ones that I identified as a little bit different because we're basically just stepping at that point. Okay, take a breath in and out. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna do our kicks. So we'll review our kicks. Our right foot goes to the back. We're gonna start with our front kicks. We're gonna kick from the back, and we're gonna bring it all the way back into that rear position. 15 times on each leg. Ready? Begin. 1. Kick with the ball of the foot, so pull those toes back. 2. Make sure you exhale for each one. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. And switch your feet. Same thing, other side, I need to stretch my hip flexor again real quick. If you need to, that's fine. And other side, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, try to kick to the head level. 7, your head level, not some little kid's head level. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, hands are up but relaxed. 15, take a breath in and out. Next thing we're gonna do, roundhouse kick. Same thing, we're gonna do 15 on each leg. Ready? Begin. 1, make sure to pivot that foot at least 90 degrees. 2, make sure to counter rotate and bring it all the way back. 3, try to kick to your own head level. 4, 5, point that hip up to the sky. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep it going. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Take a breath in, finish up if you need to, and switch sides. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, moving around still just a little bit. 12, 13, 14, 15. Catch your breath. Finish up. Next thing we're doing, axe kick. Okay, same thing, 15 on each side. Remember with the axe kick, have your first few slow, 3 or 4, nice and light. Don't forcefully bring it all the way up and pull your hamstring, especially if you aren't fully warmed up. Use it as a stretch kick. So maybe your first one is only about that high, and then it gets a little bit higher because we're working on stretching out those hamstrings. Don't want you to pull the hamstrings here. Don't do it. Ready? Axe kick. 1, 2, you can set it down in front and bring it back. 3, just don't slam your foot hard on the ground. 4, 5, when I'm bringing it down, even though you can hear it, I'm only hitting with the ball of my foot onto the ground, not my heel. The heel is what's gonna do damage to you. Was a 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hands are up, nice and relaxed. Chin stays up, don't tuck the head. 10, 11, 12, 13. Keep a little bit of movement going in between. Doesn't have to be a lot of movement. You can bounce a little bit. You can just kind of move around. But I do want a little bit of movement, and then go when you hear me. 13, 14. Notice my hands don't drop below my belt level. 15. Take a breath. finish up if you need to. We're gonna do the other side. Ready? Begin. 1. Remember, first few slow, don't hurt yourself. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Exhale on the way up. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. Take a breath in. In and out. Next kick we're gonna do, side kick. All right, so remember, side kick. This is not a side kick. It's not a side kick. Don't do it. Bring your knee towards your chest. Put that heel in front of that sideline and then thrust it out. Bring it back, knee to chest, not heel to butt, okay? Knee to chest. That's how we're gonna bring it back, right? That's our chamber position, and that's our re-chamber position. And when we thrust it out, we wanna make sure, look at my base leg, that I pivot all the way to 180 degrees away from it, right? That's what's gonna allow this to be a good kick. It's gonna allow my hip to turn over. It's also gonna allow me to get higher up when I decide to, because it's going to be using my hamstrings for flexibility instead of using my adductors, right? So pivot, make sure it's a thrusting kick, not a snapping kick. What I just did was not correct. Do not do that, okay? If you find yourself doing that, slow down, work on fixing it, all right? Ready? 15, each side. From the back leg, and it's gonna kick and go back to the rear position. And 1, 2, 3, try to slow it down a little bit. I know this one can be a little difficult. 4, 5, 6, 7, make sure it thrusts, not snaps. 8, 9, still moving around a little bit in between. 10, 11, 12, really turn that hip over as you throw that kick. 13, 14, 15. Take a breath, finish up. Stretch out anything you need to. We got one more side. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thrust it out, don't snap it. If you need to hold on to something while doing this, that's fine. 4. Make sure you can still see your target. Don't look the other way when you're doing this. 5. Exhale on each kick. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 13, 14, 15. Take a breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Finish up if you need to. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is going to be a front leg side kick. Basically the same thing. Right, so now I'm here. I'm gonna be kicking with this front leg. My toes are already pointed off to the side. I don't really have to pivot them for the chamber position. I only have to pivot for the thrust. So I'm here. My weight is gonna shift over my back leg so that I can balance. Bringing my foot up, kicking out, rotating this base leg as I kick out, re-chambering, counter-rotating this back leg, and setting it back down the front. From the side, here. Bring it up. Notice how my heel is in front of that sideline. Thrust it out, rotate the bottom foot. Notice I can still see with both of my eyes. Bring it back. Notice my heel is still not behind that sideline. It's still in front of the sideline. And then set it back down in front, okay? We're gonna do 15 on each side. Catch your breath if you need to. You ready? Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you raise that heel up on or in front of that sideline, not behind it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Take a breath. Breathe in and out. All right, so you're probably kicking, so you didn't realize what I was just doing. The last 2 kicks I did on Bob, right? And I kicked to the face. Now, side kick usually isn't actually gonna go to the face. Not saying you can't, right? If you're flexible, you can, but I'm fairly flexible, right? And I don't like kicking side kicks to the face because one, I'm gonna miss, or 2, it's not worth it. For me, a side kick is a really good kick to the body. You can break ribs, you can hit them in the gut, and it just hurts. It makes people kind of intimidated to come by. But if you throw a bad side kick to the face, well, usually they're not as intimidated as if you just hit them in the gut once really good with a short, quick side kick, right? So something here is gonna be way more effective than kind of a bad one that just glanced off the face, right? It's harder to hit the face with a lot of power. It's really easy to hit the body with a lot of power. So I recommend training most of it on the body, but for fun every now and then kick up to the head, because why not? Let's be able to do it. But predominantly gonna hit the body and make sure that you're using the heel, not the blade edge, right? People show side kick with the blade edge. Only do that for forms and pumse. Don't ever actually kick somebody with the blade edge of your foot. It's dumb, right? It looks nice in forms. It's not practical. You're probably gonna end up rolling your ankle, or it's not a good time. All right, so don't do that. Kick with the heel when you're actually trying to hit something. Enough talking, let's go to the other side. Now I'm gonna have my left leg in front, kicking with my left leg. Let's stretch that hamstring real quick. All right, and 15, begin. 1, 2, stretch this hamstring real quick. 2, 3. Now I just did something that I want you to try to avoid, which is this, right? I brought my back foot under me instead of leaning back onto it. There's times and place, right? Right now I don't want you to do that. There are some times where we're gonna progress forward and we'll be sliding this back foot up for the kick, but for now, I want you to keep that back foot where it is and lean back onto it and throw your kick, as opposed to step forward with the back and then kick. All right, 4, 5. Make sure you can see your kick still. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Take a breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, we're going to go and do our blocks. So we're gonna do our middle block. Now with this one, we're gonna do our middle block while stepping, and we're gonna be stepping with the opposite foot that we're doing the block with, right? So we're gonna be here, here, not same side. And now the reason why I'm gonna have you do opposite side more is because for the first 3 pumses, every time you do a middle block, it's always gonna be opposite hand input, right? When we get to the 4th one, sajang, it'll change a little bit, but until then, opposite hand and foot. But we got a little while before we get there, so I want you practicing with the side that you're gonna be doing the most. All right, we are going to do 30 of these. So we're just gonna be stepping. Now, as we're starting our step, I want you to set up for your block, and I want you to touch the ball of your foot or your toes onto the ground. Get in this position, all right, we're here, and then I want you to drop that heel down, turn your belt, and swing it towards that front leg as you do this middle block. And we're gonna do the same thing. So notice as I step, I'm actually pointing my belt 45 degrees towards the back leg, and then my heel of my front leg is up, and I'm gonna set it down as I do that block, and I wanna put my hips into that. Here, 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 here. Okay? So I want you to try to add that power, add the hips, and we're doing 30 of these. Ready? And begin. 1, 2. Notice how I'm setting up slowly and then blocking fast. 3, 4. Try to throw your belt. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, the block finishes, 12 as the heel hits the ground. 13, exhale. 14, at the end of that, tighten up. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Take a breath in, finish up if you need to. Again, I want you practicing adding that power to your blocks, okay? For me, a middle block is not a practical block, right? Pumse to me isn't practical as far as fighting applications go, but they do develop attributes that will help you with fighting. The main one for this right now is I want you to develop that power, right? And that power comes from being able to loosely set up everything and then add that tension, tighten up the entire body, throw those hips into it, and then relax again. And then relax, relax. Exhale as we do this, tighten up. Start off slow, accelerate really fast, have that sudden stop, no additional movements, right? This really helps with bodily control and developing that power, and that's what I want you to really think about and focus on whenever we do these traditional techniques like blocks and punches or anything that's in the forms, really. I want you to focus on that attribute development much more than how can I fight with this? Because if you're gonna try to fight with these pumse, you're gonna lose. I don't care. You're gonna lose. If you try to use these to fight, you will lose. Plain and simple. But if you use this to develop attributes that you then put into your actual fighting techniques, now you know how to generate power and be relaxed at the same time, and then tense and then relax again immediately, so you're not wasting too much energy, but you still have a lot of power. You're also able to put your hips into it, so it's actually a more efficient technique. Okay? That's what the focus is when we're doing pumse, and I want you to keep that in mind every time we're doing it. It's not to fight with those techniques, it's to develop the body and then use those attributes that you developed to learn how to fight with other techniques, chaining from that, okay? All right, spiel over. Let's go and let's do solo drill number 1. All right, so the first one we're gonna do this with is we're gonna do this with our roundhouse kick. So if you remember, our 4-count solo drill, so solo drill number 1 for this level is 1 kick, drop it down in front. Kick from the back, drop it down in front. Now kick from the front and bring it back, kick from the front and bring it back. So we're doing this again with our roundhouse kick first, so it will look a little bit like that. Ready? 10 times. You don't have to switch legs because this switches legs automatically on its own, so don't worry about that, just 10 times total. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to be nice and relaxed with these kicks, just toss them out there. 3, still good technique, but since we're just kicking in the air, I don't want you to kick super hard. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'Catch your breath, breathe in and out. Next thing, side kick. All right, so when you practice side kick, we practice the front leg and the rear leg today, so it shouldn't be too difficult. The only thing that might be a little bit difficult now is kicking that front leg and then retracting it back and bringing it all the way behind you. All right, 10 times, side kick. And begin. 1, make sure you're still turning that hip and it's a thrusting kick. 2, drop it down, raise it back up, thrust it, thrust it. 4, oh, that's 3, sorry, my bad. Now we're on 4. 4. 5. 6. 7. 'Exhale on each one. 8. Make sure it's a thrusting kick. Turn that hip over. 9. 10. Make sure you can still see that kick whenever you're throwing it up. Finish up if you're not done. If you are, take a few breaths. Breathe in and out, in and out. Slow it down a little bit, in and out. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly recap what we went over today. After we began our warm-up and finished our warm-up, we went and learned our 8 angles of movement using our step and slide. So we had forward, forward to the right, back to the right, backwards, back to the left, and forward to the left, right? And then we did the same thing, switching our feet and going all the way around on the other side as well. After that, we reviewed our kicks. So we did 15 on each leg of our front kicks. Then we did roundhouse kicks. After that, our axe kicks, and then our side kicks. From there, we went to our front leg side kicks, focusing on still being able to thrust the kick out and turn the hips, not snapping, right? It's not a side kick. After we did that, we went and did our middle blocks while stepping, again, focusing on being able to develop that power and time it with our heel touching the ground. So my heel would be up, turn my belt off to one side, and then sink it down, right? We want to be able to add that tension and that power in at the last second, but until then, we're nice and relaxed, loose, going for that. After that, we went and practiced our solo drills, or our solo drill 1 with 2 variations. So we did it with our roundhouse kick. So it's the rear leg drops down front, rear leg drops down front, front leg to the back, front leg to the back. And we did the same thing with our side kick. So side kick, rear leg to the front, rear leg to the front, drop it down, front leg to the back, front leg to the back. All right, so today was a pretty heavy kicking class, which is great. You know, that's what Taekwondo is. It's mostly kicks. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let's go ahead and let's start cooling down now. We're gonna start off with our sumo splits. Right? You know, this one's a personal favorite of mine because it's pretty relaxing, actually. For me, maybe not for you. But for me now, I can just kind of relax my hips and get a nice stretch, and just the bone structure is holding me up. And if I was to remove here, my knees would want to start collapsing in. It's not what I want. I actually even like to point my toes all the way out to the side, though this sometimes can mess with your balance, and then you'll be falling over or focusing on that. After a while though, you'll be able to get pretty decent balance here and still get a nice stretch. If you want, you can move around just a little bit into it. Try and get a little bit more range of motion going. And that's fine too. From here, let's go ahead and drop down into our splits. So let's put our hands on the ground. And toes are gonna be up, but 45 degrees towards the front. So not directly up, also not directly towards the front. Just try to relax here. It's a very, very relaxing position that everybody loves to spend a lot of time in. Few deep breaths. One thing about the splits is the best way to get better at the splits is to do the splits. I know, it's uncomfortable. Depending on how much you do it, honestly, you may never be able to do the full splits, but that's okay. You don't have to be able to do the full splits to be able to kick to your own head height, right? The only requirement I've ever had as far as flexibility goes is to be able to get a blue belt. I've had the requirement of being able to kick a roundhouse kick to your own head height. That's the only flexibility requirement I've ever had, but it's usually just easier if you're flexible, right? So we stretch to become more flexible just to make things easier. It doesn't really matter about that requirement, because if you're consistent, by the time you get to a blue belt, you shouldn't have a problem kicking a roundhouse kick to your own head. Unless you have some sort of like injury or something, but that's different, right? If you're healthy, without any injuries or past medical conditions, then it shouldn't be a problem. If you have medical conditions that prohibit you from being able to do that, well, that's a different story. In case you didn't realize, I switched over one leg. I don't think I announced it. Okay, let's come up. Switch sides. I am going to drop that knee down for this one. Again, you're welcome to do this. If you've ever had knee surgery, you probably feel this some and don't want to do it. And personally, I don't want to have another knee surgery. So I'm going to get the flexibility back, but without surgeries, because those aren't fun and they set me back a long time, and I don't like it. Let's go a little bit further. It's a little bit harder to push myself in this position though. So I have to foot walk. Right. In case you don't know how to foot walk, I'll talk through this real fast. So look at my front foot, all right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flex my ankle back, and what I'm trying to do is actually slide the top part of my heel a little bit forward, and then when I push forward again and I extend my ankle forward, it pulls me a little bit, and I can do this again, right? So I flex backwards and I slide in just a little bit, and then I pull and I flex and I pull, and it allows me to kind of pull and walk my foot forward, and as long as my back knee or foot doesn't drive up with it, then it should allow me to go deeper into the splits. Okay, so now we're gonna go to front splits. So we're gonna put the shoelaces of the back leg on the ground, try to get everything in a line when we're doing this, and go down a split. And what I'm talking about in a line, right, so now you can see I'm relatively in this line, right? I'm not here, right? This is not a front split, this is something. And you can get a little bit of a stretch that way, but it's not quite what we're going for right now. All right, and let's go ahead and switch sides. Same thing, drop the knee down, kick the other one to the front, keep them relatively lined up, and slide as much as you can forward. Back foot has the shoelaces on the ground. Lean forward, you can, get more hamstrings. Lean back if you can get more hip flexors. Okay, let's bring it in. Put our feet together, grab our ankles, suck them in, and butterfly some. Get a little bit of blood flowing back to those legs, back to the hips. Take a few deep breaths. Left hand up, protecting the face. Right hand back, posting. Left foot posts. Right leg and hip raise up off the ground. Slide it back, keeping this hand up, protecting, and stand up. Okay, so our technical stand up. Shake out your legs if you need to, modified hip twists. And straight up, bow, can you? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that class. If you did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and comment. Other than that, I will see you in the next class, and I hope you have a great day.